Hey Josh. Hey Josh, what up?
Hey, how you doing?
Good man. Look at the chaos behind me.
Oh
It's
yeah,
it's insanity, bro.
that's crazy. How you
Are you
doing?
are you at home today?
Yeah, we're at home. We're doing the meeting from home.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
What did you so
Oh,
you're
there he
both at
is.
home. Hey, there's Steve. So I'm curious. You're both at home. What's happening? Did you guys like the stores closed today or
Well, a couple of things happening. One, I haven't told Josh this, but I haven't been feeling good the last few days. We just found out yesterday my wife's coworker had COVID,
mm,
Oh
tested
no.
positive. So I don't know what's going on. Plus, the stores has been really slow, man. Mondays and Tuesdays.
yep.
For
Yep.
right now, I'm just closing Monday and Tuesday. Not closing, but by appointment only.
Brilliant.
I was there this morning, and we got a bike delivery this morning. Um,
Good.
so I just got home right now a little while ago, and I've been on hold now for the last hour, trying to get an appointment to get tested.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I've been
Yeah,
feeling
man.
like really bad these last couple of days. I have no taste, no sense of smell, really bad headache. I'm just
Yeah.
kind of dealing with it right now, and so is my wife. So
I'm sorry to hear it. I hope that it's not. I hope that
I
it's
hope it's
not
not
what it.
too. But when I spoke to my doctor, she said, "I don't want to scare you, but everything you've told me is leading towards COVID. You really need to get tested." And
Yeah.
I'm like, great, But man, it's been a pain in the ass. I've been on literally all morning been trying to deal with this, and
Yeah.
I've been on hold now over hour 18 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. So and leave it. And if they take the call, then by all means, like mute yourself and no
Yeah,
problem because Josh and I keep practicing because yeah, I mean yeah, this is a serious deal. So for sure, and you got to watch your health and I mean, I can't stress this enough, man. Whatever it takes for you to stay healthy and work on your immune system, like, you know, pay for that. Like, find, whatever immunity boosters, extra vitamin C. I've been taking immunity boosters myself, and I'm not convinced that I didn't have this already, by the way.
hello.
I can, I was, oh, there you go.
Oh, you got the
F and A,
call.
man. I hope he gets tested right away.
Yeah, that's scary. I had no idea about that. So that's
Yeah. Oh,
finding that
he's
out.
back.
False alarm.
Oh, false
Oh,
alarm.
shit. Okay. It's tough, man. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think what's happened over the last few months is a lot of people have gotten tired of it, and then the reopenings happened, and not everybody is as diligent about washing their hands, and it's it you know. But as I was saying, I mean, back in February, early February, I had traveled to Boise, Idaho, and there's talk about that COVID's been around in North America a lot longer than people realized. And I'm
Yeah.
sure, I mean, I'm telling you, I'd love to get tested to see if I have the antibodies because it took me like I'm talking weeks, and I'm a fitness buff. I eat well. Um, you know, yeah, I'm very regimented in terms of how I do things, and it kicked my ass. I didn't work out for almost 6 weeks, and that's just not like me. I
Oh,
had
wow.
no mojo, and at one point, I was literally having to think about you got to breathe in right now, like breathe in, man, and then breathe out. Yeah, I had to literally like yeah, but so I'm convinced I had it. It's like I mean I've had colds before and flus before. This was yeah. And what was weird was I felt like I got to hork up something and nothing was coming up ever.
Yeah, that's how I feel. The one thing that concerned me was I can't smell anything and I'm not able to taste anything. And that's like one of the biggest symptoms because I'm thinking I just have like a head cold or something like that. 'Cause I
Yeah,
started feeling like Friday a little bad, Saturday was really bad. But I'm
right,
starting to feel a little bit better now, but I still can't taste or smell anything. And it's so weird.
right,
It's never happened.
right.
So I went
Yeah,
ahead
I found
through it and called
and
the doctor.
and those first 3 to 4 days are like, oh my god, and then after that, it just like, okay, when's this gonna end?
Yeah.
That's what it was for me, and it just rest. I mean, rest is key. So,
Yeah.
all right, guys. So I just finished an SOS call with some guys. not literally from 12:30 to 1 my time. What I want to do with you guys is we're going to walk around here, just do a quick overview of our notes, just to refresh the old noggin in no particular order. So I might as well head this way. I got so many notes with you guys, I've had to put them all over the house. So it's not a bad thing. I'm not going to go upstairs too much, but I'm going to turn my lights on so you guys can see what's going on. So we talked about the importance of Bob's butts on bikes. If they ain't bobbing, they ain't buying. I mean, and just today I was with Pedego Chattanooga, and we're doing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday training. And they had to put me on pause a few times, but I could hear what was happening. And they had people come in the door, and they didn't get them on the bikes. And we didn't dig into that first 3 questions thing. So that's the first thing that we're doing tomorrow morning. So you guys are already up ahead of what some people aren't doing. And it was a great lesson. But butts on bikes, we know the more butts on bikes we get, the more sales we're going to make, right? So you want to be able to have, stacking value and not discounting. We talked about planting seeds. We talked about your sales template, which I've sent to you guys. And I think I need to resend it to you, by the way, because I've got a specific Pedego sales template. I talked about cutting to the chase and asking right away, like your first 3 questions, right? You play your A game and you acknowledge, right? So I know play your A game has got to be up here somewhere. Nonetheless, you play your A game and you acknowledge. And then hey, folks, be with you in a quick sec. 10 seconds goes by. Then you go, okay, first time in the store. How did you hear about us? Get the marketing metrics, put it in your daily metrics counter. You ever ride a Pedego before? Nope. Awesome. Play your A game. Highest energy wins. Just for fun, come with me. You walk out, you get on the bike, you go first, you set the bike up, you come back, you stand in front of the bike and you go, okay, now it's your turn. Monkey see, monkey do. They're going to hop on the bike. And then it's like, hey, you know what? But just because we want you to be responsible for yourself, it's just company policy. You just got to fill out this waiver. However you do your waiver, it's up to you. We talked about your why. Your why, because this is a second business. It's a great opportunity. It's a growing market. Of course, you've got a great boss there, Josh. Great team.
Yes,
you guys want to help people. And when you're helping people, you're making money and you're having fun. And I just said this earlier, and I think I showed this to you guys as well. And I showed this to my group of people in the dojo. This is you guys right now, and I'm helping you stretch out just outside this red zone, which is your comfort zone. When you stretch out of your comfort zone, you get to the happy people over here. These are your new customers, right? When you get happy people, that's where the money is. But if you're not willing to stretch out and do the tough things, like have these tough conversations, ask the tough questions, going outside of what you're used to doing in terms of selling, and now hey, you know what? Just for fun, hop on. Just for fun, hop on. And doing that on a regular basis, systemizing it, you're going to crush it. So we talked about more butts on bikes. You good, Steve?
Yeah, sorry.
No sweat. So if you're getting 5 people out of 100 to buy on the first visit, we know that if we get 20 test riders to go to 40 test riders out of 100, you're going to double your business if nothing changed. Of course, now we're going to be able to increase the test ride number just based on first time in the store. How'd you hear about us? Hey, did you ever ride a Pedego before? No? Oh, awesome. Just for fun, come with me. Now, just for fun, come with me is going to get them onto the bike, right? We talked about after they do that first little mini spin, cut to the chase, ask the question. Imagine taking this home right now. Ask. Worst case scenario is they say no. We know when you hear no 5 times to get to a yes. That is here somewhere. Yeah, we got a lot of notes, but it's all good, right? I told you guys as well, here's an example of putting up a sign, putting up a map, and then using this to say, hey, listen, this is where we are here on our map. But, we know that you're in the $200 zone, but tell you what, if I throw in the $200 delivery, I do it now. Would you want to take the bike right now? If I throw this $200 delivery for free and I wipe out the $200 off the invoice, you want to do it now? So what I'm doing is I'm already placing areas of value on my map. Like you put your map up, right? Instead of the map of the country, you just put a map of your city, put in your store, and then you just create a value proposition for people. We talked about the different types of social media that exist. You've got to work on social media. You don't let social media work on you. Schedule it. Put it in play. Again, we talked about your A game. Your A game stands for acknowledge, but it also stands for the fact that you guys are an authority. Whether you've been in business for 8 weeks or you've been in business for 8 years, people walk into a Pedego store, they're going to expect you to be the expert, right? You're the trusted advisor. And so when you tell somebody, hey, you know what? Just for fun, come with me. You're going to get them on to the bike. Butts on bikes. That's what gets them there. We also talked about last week, we talked about a little bit of technology. We talked about the difference between the torque sensor, which is when it feels the pressure on the pedal, versus the cadence sensor, which is just the rotation of the pedals. So that's the difference between the two. Most of the bikes, not all, most of the bikes that have a cadence sensor are the regular Interceptor and regular City Commuters. Once you get into the Platinum or Black Edition, the Ridge Rider, and all of the mid-drive products, they'll have torque sensor and speed sensor and cadence sensor. They'll have all three. And then last week, we finished up on the SOS. I talked to you a little bit about how to handle objections. So you're going to be on the floor, and you've developed the relationship with the customer, right? We've gone through the 6 other questions that you're going to walk into with a customer. And I want to make sure, I'm not sure, I'm going to resend this to you guys. I'm going to share my screen here. I want to make sure that I send this back to you guys. Hang on a sec. There we go. Right here. You guys see this? The Pedego Dealer Army of One sales template?
Yep.
All right. So let's just review this real quick. Customer comes in. Hey, hello, fun. Welcome here. Be with you in a quick moment. Wait 5-10 seconds. First time in the store. How'd you hear about us? You ever ridden a Pedego before? Hey, just for fun, let's go for a ride. You do the mini spin. Salesperson goes first, sets up bike. Salesperson stands in front of bike, pulls out the phone, has prospect waiver details. And then you just say, it's company policy. We have you fill out this waiver form. We want you to be responsible for yourself. The salesperson himself or herself does it on his or her phone, and then the prospect simply touches the digital signature button. Because of COVID, a lot of people are just going, hey, I'm just going to want you to see this, and I'm going to do this for you. Done. Right? So you ask permission to touch the button for them due to sanitary coronavirus concerns. When the customer comes back from the mini spin, literally they did what you did, which is just 20 yards, you can cut to the chase if you feel that they're like completely like, holy shit, man, this is awesome. Then just close. Right on. You want to take it? Again, 90% of the people are going to say, well, it's my first one, or how much is this, right? And that's okay. And you say, yeah, it's $39.99. And they might go, okay, that's affordable. Or 9 times out of 10, they're going to go, are you freaking crazy? I need to invest in this, and I need to figure this out. No sweat. Then you go into these 6 questions. It's 5 or 6, but I like these 6. Who's it for? Who else is going to use it? How are you going to use it? And they might say, well, what do you mean? Well, are you using it for fitness? Are you using it to ride to work? Are you using it to keep up with someone? Are you using it for physiotherapy? Are you using it for weight loss? Like, how are you going to use it? Where are you going to be riding it? Is it, and I like to say, is it dirt or is it gravel? Is it fire road? Is it paved? Because once you know where they're going to be riding it and the how and the who, you can eliminate so many things. And don't assume, this is why this first question, who's the bike for and who else is going to use it? Don't assume that the person that's in the store, the bike's for themselves. I've seen many a couple come in where it's only the one person, the man walking in doing the research for the wife, and it's for her. So he's 6'2" and she's 5'1". Well, a 29er Platinum Edition is the wrong bike for her. So we can't assume that, don't make that mistake, guys, because I've seen it too many times, and I've made that mistake myself. I'm like, oh, shit. I just wasted 45 minutes of my life that I can't get back. It's like watching a bad movie. So then how far are you typically going to ride? And this is where you extol the virtues of the 15 amp hour battery. So it's like, how far are you going to ride? Somebody says, it's only 8 miles. No sweat. All of our batteries can easily do that. Although most people are going to get the 15 amp hour battery anyways, because they always want to make sure they got more than enough power to get home. right? So you're just planting seeds. Planting seeds always of best, better, good instead of good, better, best, right? Do you plan to ride alone or will you be riding in a group? This is going to help you set yourself apart to other bike brands because Pedego has a strong community. The word community has to be in your lexicon, has to be in your mind. So it's not just, the what versus what. People don't buy what you sell, they buy why you sell it. So do you plan to ride alone or do you plan on riding in a group? If they say, well, I don't know, say, well, what's really cool is we have a variety of different people that get together and we have a Pedego owners group. That is something that separates you from all other bike brands. So the question of do you plan on riding alone or will you be riding in a group helps you set that up and separate yourself as a differentiating value that you can't put a price to, because when you start building new relationships and new friends due to your Pedego, holy shit, man, that's worth a lot of money. It's priceless, right? And then finally, are there any health issues that I need to know about? Ankle, and I go bottom to top, ankles, knees, hips, spine, heart, or lung. And then let them talk. So if you have the time. If the store's not busy, then, I've got a bad knee. Can you tell me a little bit about that? How did that happen? What are you doing for physio? How long has this been going on? Okay, well, based on what you just told me, here are 2 or 3 bikes that I'm going to recommend that are going to be best fitting your needs, and you go best, better, good. Okay? Does this all make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Awesome. So today, we're going to jump into the SOS, which is the sales objection system. And I just did this real quick. I know we went over this I went over this with you guys, and I'm just going to give you a quick recap. I just did this with my SOS dojo in the last call, so I'm going to show you guys this. So again, and it's not this one, it's the blue one. So I'll show you this. And again, the SOS is a very, simple approach to handling objections. But the beauty of it isn't the fact that it's a 2-step system. It's the fact that it's very easy. The question is practice. So it's a 2-step system. Step 1, acknowledge. Step 2, ask a question. The challenge that people have is the emotional response. It's no different than in sales. Most people are too afraid to even ask because they're afraid to have somebody reject them. Remember, you're going to hear no 5 times anyway, so you might as well get them off. Just ask. Emotions go up, intelligence goes down. So the key is practice and programming. So we're going to try this one right now again, guys. We were just starting this when we were on the phone last, when we were on a Zoom last, which was your product is too expensive. Your response to your product is too expensive. And by the way, your product is too expensive can sound like, wow, that's a lot of money. Or it can sound like, are you freaking kidding me? This is a bike, right? It could be, your product is too expensive, or any objection can be disguised in a variety of ways. So the way to acknowledge, are you kidding me? This is a lot of money. It's the same thing as your product's too expensive. Hey, thanks for letting me know how you feel. What exactly are we comparing it to? Right? Thanks for letting me know how you feel. What exactly are we comparing it to? So that's the nutshell of comparison of the SOS. So Josh, if I say to you, hey man, your product's just way too expensive.
Thanks for letting me know how you feel. What exactly are you comparing it to?
Right. So now just use the word we.
We?
So instead of, yeah.
Instead of
so
you, we?
Yeah. So, and this is powerful. And I appreciate you bringing that up. The difference between, for example, if I said, hey, you know what, Josh, appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming. As opposed to, hey, Josh, thanks for coming. I appreciate you. What truly has more power? Just one word change, but what has more power? I appreciate it or I appreciate you?
I appreciate you.
Absolutely. So in the context of what are you comparing it to versus, hey, what are we comparing it to, man? I'm working with you. And this brain of ours picks it. Like, we may not think in our frontal lobe that we pick this stuff up, but our subconscious mind, and I assume that our subconscious mind is in the back of our heads, but I really don't know how the brain actually works based on a shit ton of books that I keep reading and putting up there. It's your subconscious mind is a powerful tool. So let's do it again. And again, thanks for letting me know how you feel. What exactly are we comparing it to? So Josh, you know what? These bikes are really expensive.
Thanks for letting me know how you feel. What exactly are we comparing it to?
Attaboy!
Yeah.
Tequila!
Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, and it happens, man. I'll tell you, in my career, I've heard it. Like, so Steve, hey man, are you kidding me? This is a lot of money for a bike.
Thanks for letting me know how you feel. What exactly are we comparing it to?
Exactly.
Nice.
That is exactly the angle. You just and again, remember, you're the authority, you're the expert, you're the trusted advisor. So it's just you just repel it. It's like as if you're wearing a raincoat and somebody's throwing water at you. It just comes right off. Like, are you fucking nuts? This much for a bike, Josh?
Hold on, you got me because you said.
That's all right, man. The emotion, right? You're gonna hear it, and you're laughing right now. But when somebody says, "Are you fucking nuts?" My original response would be,
yeah.
"I'm gonna punch you in the face, bro." Like, dude, what do you mean I'm not? I'm not nuts. These bikes are fucking awesome,
Yeah.
right? So don't insult me because I'm selling bikes that are worth $4,000. You know what I mean?
Right.
So Josh, are you fucking nuts? This is $4,000, a lot of money for a bike.
Thanks for letting me know how you feel. What exactly are we comparing it to?
Attaboy.
Boom.
So Steve, man, I had no idea these were this much money. This is a lot of money for a bike.
Thanks for letting me know how you feel. What exactly are we comparing it to?
You guys got it. It's great.
Yeah,
So now-
I made it compare it to a car. I can buy a car for this much.
Yeah. And you know what though? It's very common that people say that. And
Oh, yeah?
again, I mean the response that you have is probably, what kind of car are you going to buy for $4,000?
Yeah, at that
Right?
point, I'll be honest with you, I didn't even bother with her anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you got to. I think you're absolutely right. When you think of who that customer is that you have, and I'm pointing upwards, we defined your customer as 60 years old on average, couples, retired, they're affluent. 10% of them have ridden an e-bike before, yet they have health issues. 80% of them live close by. A little bit more slanted to women versus men. You guys can make a choice. Listen, if somebody can't afford it and they're not willing to look at financing, or they're so close-minded that they don't know anything about bikes and they go, well, I can buy a car for that much, you got a decision to make. There's always stuff to do in the shop, or you can say, I mean, ultimately, the question I have in that context, Steve, is did she try a bike? Did she actually ride one?
No, she walked in.
Yeah.
And went straight to. Unfortunately, the Interceptor was the Platinum was right there. And we
Okay.
had prices on them, so she flipped the tag and she looked at it, and I came up to her and I welcomed her, and then she said something like, "Wow, $4,200! You can almost buy a car for this much," or something like that. And I was like,
And you know what? So that's already an objection based on price. You got to remember, a lot of the sales objection system, we know that we're eventually going to come back to price, right? I mean, it's no different than if somebody says, and I know I have this, again, we've got so many notes. It'll be, what kind of deal can you give me? We talked about that, and I think I have it up on the wall, where it's like, hey, what kind of deal can you give me? When we want to stack value. And it's like, hey, I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? We talked about a little bit about that when somebody says, is that my price? What kind of deal can you give me? Do these things ever go on sale?
Yeah, I had a customer this morning call about the latch, and
Yep.
I told her I had one left. When did she want to come by? And she asked the price, and she was like, "Well, is there any?" I don't know. If she said any wiggle room, or she says something like,
Right.
You can get a better deal.
Yeah. Is that as sharp as your pencil gets? I mean, I've heard it. I've heard it all.
I basically told her, look, I'm going to be honest with you. Bikes, I don't know if you've been shopping for bikes, but they're flying off the shelf. And right now we're just in no position to discount our bikes.
Right.
I said,
So I
asked her to come in and test. So why don't you come in and take it for a ride, and then we'll talk when you get here.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "Yeah, I've already been shopping for them. I know I want it, so I think I'm just gonna come pick it up." So
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
So I'm gonna, I appreciate you bringing this up because Steve, again, just take my information like spare ribs, keep the meat, throw away the bone, right? My feedback on that would be, okay, step one, give him good phone. You got your calendar there so that you can get the person's name and set up an appointment. So I would say, well, ma'am, you know what? Right now, and I agree with your tact, right now bikes are flying right off the shelf, and it's really the biggest challenge that I have, and I would actually frame it in the form of a question. Ma'am, are you aware of how bikes are flying off the shelf right now because of coronavirus?
Yeah.
And they might go, yeah, actually, I'm familiar with that. It's, okay, so I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? I'll negotiate with somebody, but I'm just not discounting. And then what I'll do is I will close and get at least a deposit on the phone. So now they're committed. And a deposit can be as little as $100 because nobody's going to leave $100 alone. Like they're going to want it. Like if they change their mind, they're going to want their $100 back. And that means they have to talk to me. So I can persuade and influence at that point. I'm just giving you feedback, man, because I want you to be able to, anybody in the future that calls you and wants to be able to just, they're selling them over the phone. It's, yeah, for sure. I can tell you right now that there are Pedego stores that get it. If they've called me here, they might as well be live and in person right beside me right now. I mean, because if the other stores
I should have taken a deposit because even though she told me she was going to come, that doesn't mean anything, Yeah,
well, exactly. Which is why it's like, okay, ma'am, I totally appreciate that you're looking for a good deal, right? I acknowledge it. Like, do you have any wiggle room? Hey, you know what? I totally appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? Right? We went over the deal numbers. Did we do that last time? Let's go.
I think so, yeah.
Let's go. Okay, we're gonna come. This is big. This is big. So, I thought I did, but maybe God forbid I got my notes mixed up. But this is worth going over with you guys, anyways. And again, I'm going to share with you what a lot of the stores are doing, but you get to choose, Steve. You and Josh both can make a decision in terms of, I think we could do this. And not every store is the same. Your typical product is selling for about $3,000, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just call it for what it is. It's $3,000.
Sorry, man. 1 second.
Yeah, go. I'm going to share it with you, Josh, and I'll say it again with Steve.
All right.
Somebody's going to ask for a deal on $3,000 or $2,999, right? Now, you can discount off of the $3,000, and that becomes pure money discounted. We did the work on the quote, right? We definitely did the quote work.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to find out from you guys I want to see the quote stuff. I haven't seen it yet. So if somebody says, hey, what kind of deal can you give me on a $3,000 bike? My suggestion is your price of, well, and then it really is $2,999 is firm. Now, that's my suggestion. Again, take my information like spare ribs, you keep the meat, throw away the bone. You can discount off of $29.99 all you want. It's your store, Steve. You can do what you want. I don't work for Pedego. I work for you. I'm just giving you tools that are going to help you sell more. Right. And I want you to sell more at margin. And what I want is I want to have your invoices to have a higher blended margin. So some stores will discount the price when they're talking to a customer on the phone or they're live and in person to close a deal. So the question I have is, and I'm going to show you a technique that really is powerful. The question I have is, on a $29.99 bike, realistically, cone of silence, just between us, the three of us, how far would you discount this $3,000 bike to close the sale? Would you never, or would you go $200, $300, like how far?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Right now, it's firm. I'm not discounting my bike.
Excellent. Okay. So some stores will discount their bikes. They would tell me, we'll go as low as $300 off, Joe. I'm like, okay. Here's the suggestion on 300. Again, right now you're firm, and I agree with your firm. However, if somebody's looking for a deal, you don't have to discount this. What you can do is you could stack value.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing is to try to get some kind of a deal, I try to do it off accessories.
Right. So let's say the number was 300. Well, here's your 0 is firm. 0 is firm all the way to $300. A lot of stores are using the $300 range, but some stores go higher. Some stores are like, it's $100. This is just as an example for you. The goal has to be stacking value. I agree with you 100%. Don't discount, stack value. So what does that mean? Hey, what kind of deal can you give me? SOS it. I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? I'm not saying I'm discounting, right? I'm just appreciate that you're looking for a good deal, Steve. What did you have in mind? Well, can you throw in that Sena helmet? Well, the Sena helmet cost is $129, right? Here's your max. Here's that you're willing to discount. Right now it's firm, but you already said you're willing to discount accessories. Well, $300 worth of accessories, your cost is $150. A Sena helmet at $129, your cost is about $65. So I would say, so if I hear, so the idea is you need to today, or at least preferably before we're done our training, pick a number from here to here in accessories that you are comfortable, or as far as you want to go. I mean, I think 300 is a shit ton at this point. Your cost is only 150. And you don't have to go to 300. And this is the beauty of it. And Josh, this is a real good lesson for you as a salesperson. Using the Sena helmet as example is $129. If somebody says, "Hey, what kind of deal can you give me on this bike?" If we did our job and we had the quote that we did earlier that we talked about, where I've shown them a list of items that are available on the quote, the first thing I would do showing them the quote is I'd say, "Hey, you know what, Steve, I totally appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What item off of the quote do you want me to take off so I can save you money?" That's the first tactic. So I'm not even discounting. This isn't even in play. I'm just going to take items off the quote and hold margin because I'm firm on my price. Then the person who's really a grinder is going to say, no. I want a better price on the bike. Can you do a better deal on the bike? Then I would say, hey, I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. I acknowledge them. Step 2, ask a question. What exactly did you have in mind? Well, I really like that Sena helmet thing here. Can you throw that in? That's over here. I know my scale. I'm here at 129. My cost is 65. I'd go, okay, so what you're saying, Steve, is if I throw in this Sena helmet, you're going to buy it now? So with Mrs. Lady is, do you have wiggle room? Ma'am, I totally appreciate that you're looking for a great deal. What exactly did you have in mind? Nowhere did we say we're giving you a deal. I'm just curious. And then it's like, well, I'll tell you what. If you want to come in today, like, how quick can you get here? Like, I would put in the sense of urgency. It's like, ma'am, you're aware as to how crazy bike sales are right now. Like, I can barely keep these things in stock. So here's the deal. I'm willing to, and then I would go, are you wearing a helmet? Do you have a pump? And I would start going through my list with her on the phone of, she's looking for a latch. Well, if you've done your homework, you've got a latch quote and everything that you list off. And then, so ma'am, do you have a pump? No. Tell you, well, yeah, I do. Does your pump have a gauge on it that tells you exactly how much air pressure is in the tire? No. Okay, tell you what. You want to do this right now, I'll throw in the pump. but you got to do this now. I need a deposit from you right now. Otherwise, I mean, we can't do this. I mean, my bikes are selling like crazy. Do you want to do this now? Question mark. She's going to say yes. Anybody who says, can you do this for me? Like, Steve, this is a big one. What kind of deal can you give me? Or do you have wiggle room? Or is that as sharp as your pencil gets? Or whatever kind of bullshit version that I'm talking about. It's an ask to buy question. Like, they're asking you, can I buy it? And all they want is they want to feel like they got something. That customer that we talked about earlier, when you define that person, that 60-year-old affluent, they make 200 grand a year or more, like, they're just good negotiators. So all they want is a fucking win.
Yep.
Right?
Regardless if they got a good deal or not, if they
That's
feel
it.
like they did,
That's it. They just want to fucking win. So here's the deal, man. You're going into the negotiation knowing what your best hand is. So if your best hand is $150 worth of accessories at cost, or $300 worth of accessories at cost, which is only $150, to be able to make a $3,000 sale, plus the other accessories that are going to make up some of the difference, which improve your blended margin. To me, like, this is the most popular angle that a lot of the stores have done pre-COVID. Right now, and I've always said, never discount your bike. But to stack value and pick a number, this gives Josh and the future staff the autonomy to play their A game as an authority, as a trusted advisor, and never having to call Steve saying, dude, somebody's coming here to buy 5 bikes. Listen, on 5 bikes, the discount is $300 off of invoice, not off of bike. It's max on 5. If it's, Steve, somebody's looking to buy 2 bikes, like, the answer would be policies and procedures. You already know the number. Click. Like, I mean, right? So any new staff member that, Josh, you're going to be managing, you can tell them, hey, whatever that number that you and Steve pick, that's the number. So that what it does is it's not 301. Like this has to be firm. So hear me out, because we're going to practice this objection right now. What kind of deal can you give me? I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? Can you give me $500 off? Right? 55% of the way that we communicate is body language. You guys remember that?
Yep.
Right? Ask me for $500 off, Steve. Go ahead.
Can you take $500 off the bike?
What did I just say? I didn't say a word. What did I say?
That would have been fuck no.
Yeah. Said fuck no by going. And then you say, hey, Steve, I totally appreciate that you're looking for a killer deal. I'm acknowledging you again. What would be a win-win for both of us that you had in mind? So now I'm saying you're being unreasonable, but I'm being totally polite about it. You're being totally unreasonable. However, I'm willing to play. What did you have in mind? And as long as they come in under my number, because I'm holding the fucking cards. If I turn around and I said, what kind of deal can you give me? And I said, I can give you $300 off of it. I'll give you $300 worth of accessories for free. I listen to dealers do this, and I just go, oh my God. And the customer goes, okay, thanks, I'll think about it. And they leave. Like, it's unacceptable. I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What did you have in mind? I threw the ball in your court.
So
Now,
question. Why not just flat out say, we're not discounting the bikes? I mean, why?
Yeah,
what's the reason behind asking them, hey, I appreciate it. What are you looking for? Why open that door and not just say, hey, look, not flat out deny them, but say, hey, our prices are firm or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, again, you could say this is purely a question of strategy. If you're firm on not discounting the bike and you're firm on not providing accessories as part of the deal, that's also, you could, what you're also opening up though, is you're finding out what their expectation is. Okay. Because you have other things that you can give away that cost you nothing.
Right.
You can give away.
Was why just go straight into the accessories and saying, hey, look, the prices of our bikes are firm. you know, we can try to work something out on accessory, or I don't know, something like that.
So I'll show you how to frame the question. So go ahead and say, and I'll show you. Hear me out. You could say to me, Joe, what kind of deal can you give me? And I'll say, I totally appreciate that you're looking for a good deal, Steve. What did you have in mind? And you can say, well, I just want to be able to, you know, can you knock off $200? Here's how I answer that. I would say, so Steve, what you're saying is, if I can take $200 off of this total invoice, you're going to buy from me now? I didn't say $200 off the bike.
Right.
I'm saying $200 off the total invoice, which is coming from accessories.
Right.
So I'm giving them the wiggle room, and as long as we're doing $200 off of the accessories, which we've done with our quote in the first place, no problem. I mean, they're going to need a helmet, they're going to need a pump, they're going to need, you know, a connect seat post, or they're going to need it. I'm going to put enough accessories to make sure. I mean, it shouldn't happen that somebody just buys a bike. If all they do is buy the bike, then the answer is absolutely stick to your guns. It is firm. The bike does not get discounted. I totally agree with you. But people are going to be buying helmets and, you know, whatever, clothing or water bottle cages, cruising tunes, I mean, and all this stuff adds up. Hell, there are some stores that throw in, I mean, I think it's nuts, but they've done it. They've thrown in Thule easy fold racks to close sales.
Oh.
I mean, $749 worth of value, and usually that's done on a 2-bike sale. So that's $600, right? 3 plus 3 is 6. It's almost $749, but they're throwing it in to get a 2-bike deal with all of the other accessories. So the Thule rack becomes a 0% wash, but the blended margin on everything else, for them, they feel it's worth it. It's a strategy. I'm not suggesting it's the right one.
I mean, if he's selling 2 bikes plus a number of accessories, then okay, yeah. I mean, I guess
understand it?
the rack would, you know,
Yeah.
won't hurt at all.
Yeah.
So coming back to your question, why do I open it up? Because those customers that we defined earlier, they want to feel good. They want to feel like they've negotiated like they always have in their life. And so if all I'm doing is I'm giving them a little bit of leeway that I'm prepared to do in accessories, which you already clearly are, you're firm on the invoice, you're firm on the bike. But you're going to stack value. And stacking value, by the way, could be free rentals. You can say, so do you have any family members that ever come visit? Tell you what, I'm going to give you a stack of rental cards. Here's 10 free rentals. It's worth whatever, $300. It's free. You want butts on bikes anyways.
Right.
So stacking value like that, again, so I appreciate that it still comes down to systematically, I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? They tell you a number. If it's over, you give them the face, and then you go, hey, I totally appreciate that you're looking for a deal that would put me out of business, and I wouldn't be able to serve you. So obviously I can't do that. That's acknowledged. The question would be, what would be a win-win that would get us into a realm of possibility that we can make something work? Hey, there she is. How are you, young lady?
Good.
Excellent.
Hey, Zoe.
Is that Josh?
Yes.
Hey, Josh!
Hey, Josh! So let's just practice. Like, does all of that make sense, Steve?
Yeah, man.
So what we're gonna do is let's practice just the first part. So it's gonna be, what kind of deal can you give me? And then so I'm gonna say it first. Josh, you're gonna be first up. So what I'm gonna say to you, what kind of deal can you give me? Write it down. You got a pen handy?
Hold on.
Go get one.
Let me grab one.
Take your headphones off and go get it. It's worth it. It's totally worth it. Because this objection is very common in every retail environment. So once you have, and Steve, you could choose today. Listen, we're not going to do $300 in accessories. We're going to do, what's the number that you're going to be comfortable with here?
I would probably say around 150 to 200. I would just say 200.
200? So let's just do this.
Yeah.
That's a 2. All right, so now it's a 200. So Josh, your company policy is you're able to go $200 off of total invoice without bike included, but the bike is firm. The bike never gets discounted, but you're able to go $200 of accessories, which is really your cost is only $100 off of total invoice. So when somebody says to you, "What kind of deal can you give me?" Step one, acknowledge. Step two, ask a question. So step one, I appreciate that you are looking for a good deal. I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal.
For a good deal.
Yep.
What
I
exactly
appreciate that
do
you're
you have
looking
in
for a good
mind?
deal. Yeah. And then ask the question, what exactly did you have in mind? And I like the word exactly. I want specifics. Like, I don't want to hear, can you throw in some stuff? That's not exactly. So I would turn around and say, well, okay, can you elaborate? Can you be specific? Like, what are you looking for? I'm nowhere am I saying I'm flexible. Of course we are. We already know. This is poker now. This is where we go, okay, I got my hand. I'm not letting you see the cards, but I know that my limit's 200, which my cost is 100, to be able to get a deal that's well over 3,000. So I'm going to be ahead. And I'm willing to, because I know the psychology of that customer who's 60 plus, $200,000 a year, blah, blah, blah. They want to be able to just feel that they got something. Okay, so we know going in, and we'll play. But the beauty of this play, Josh, is you don't have to call up Steve. You can take full autonomy on this. You got this. We got this, bro. Right here, baby. No problem. Got this. So it's, hey, Josh, what kind of deal can you give me?
Hey, I appreciate you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind?
All right. Steve, you have any wiggle room? Can't hear you, bro. You're muted.
Sorry
There you
about
go. No problem. You have
that.
any
Hey, man, I
wiggle room,
appreciate
Steve?
that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind?
Excellent. Hey, Josh, you know what? Do these bikes ever go on sale?
Now, would
Say
I
it.
say,
You say
do
it.
I say this, or would I say the firm part?
I would say I appreciate that I would go right into it.
Okay. I
Yeah,
appreciate
because
you
I mean,
looking for a
cut
good deal.
to
What
the
exactly
chase.
did you have in mind?
I mean, because what they're saying is, do these bikes ever go on sale? I'm essentially telling you, I like it. I want to buy it. I just want a better price. Right? I'm just trying to help you cut the fat off so you can let's get to it.
I almost 2 hours into it and I got disconnected.
Oh, man.
Oh, no way.
Oh man, this is so frustrating.
I thought Florida got hit with like 4,000 cases on Sunday.
Yeah, I think so.
Did somebody answer?
I dialed the wrong number and then I went to pick up the phone and I hung up on him. Jesus. Yeah, they answered earlier, about 30 minutes in to our call. Remember, I walked away
Yeah.
just to tell me, ask me for my name and my birth date, and to put me right back on hold.
Come on. Is there no drive-through testing place with swab and
There is,
stuff?
but you have to have an appointment.
Oh my God. Well, yeah. If it comes up, Steve, go ahead and take the call, brother.
Yeah.
All right. So again, I'll throw some curveballs in there when the time is right. But for right now, let's keep going. Josh, what's your best price on these bikes?
Well, yeah, I appreciate you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? Oh, wait.
Steve,
Yeah.
what kind of deal can you give me?
Hey man, I appreciate you looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind?
Josh, hey man, can you sharpen your pencil on these things?
Oh, yeah, I appreciate you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind?
Attaboy, love it. Hey Steve, what's my price if I buy two?
Hey man, I appreciate you looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind?
You're gonna hear that one a lot because they're couples. So what if we buy two Appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly do you have in mind? How far can you go on 2, Josh?
What's that?
How far, what kind of a deal could, if you were going to push the limit of the deal as far as you can go on 2 bikes, what's your number?
As far as accessories, 200
Yeah. Per bike.
per bike, yeah.
So you could go 400 bucks. Like if you're willing, if Steve's saying, hey, we can go 200 off of one deal on accessories for 1 bike, then the answer is, if it's 2 bikes, it's 4. And you don't have to say, like, and this is the beauty of it, guys. You don't have to go to the 200 mark.
Right.
If somebody, so again, this is how it's going to play out, because you're playing the game. You don't have to give them your best hand all the time. Steve is saying you can go there, but if somebody says, hey, what kind of deal can you give me? And you say, appreciate that you're looking for a good deal, Josh. What exactly do you have in mind? Can you throw in that Senna helmet at 120? It's 129. Then you say, so what you, if it's anywhere in here, your answer is, so what you're saying is, if I do what you're asking me to do, you're going to buy it now? Not today. You're not asking, are you going to buy it today? Because today means they could call 10 more places before they call you back. No. It's effing now. So what you're saying is, if I can throw in, like if they say, hey, can you throw in, you know, a helmet and a pump? So let's say a helmet it's not a Senna helmet. Well, even if it is a Senna helmet, 129 plus a pump, that's $60, right? So now you're at 189. Well, you're under the 200. So what you're saying, Mr. Customer, is if I throw in what you're asking for, which is $189 worth of stuff, you're going to buy it right now? Anybody who's given you a price that said, can you do this, and you're here, they basically said yes. All you've got to do is iron it out with the right words, and it's done. It's done. They'd be complete effing a-holes, because then I wouldn't want to deal with them.
Yeah.
They lied. Like if I said, hey, what kind of deal are you looking for, you know, Jim? And Jim says, yeah, can you throw in that pump and that Senna helmet? Meanwhile, so I come in under $200, and I'd say, so what you're saying, Jim, is if I could throw the pump and the helmet in, you're going to buy it right now? And he says, well, no. I'd say, well, why are you wasting my time? Like, nobody would actually say no. Like 999 times out of 1,000, the second that they give you anything here, the deal is done. And you know what you could say? Like, and this is the beauty of congratulations. Remember we did the credit card congratulations, not thank you? So, hey, what kind of deal can you give me, Joe? Appreciate that you're looking for a good deal, Josh. What'd you have in mind? Can you throw in that pump and the Senna helmet? So what you're saying, Josh, is if I could throw in the pump and the Senna helmet, which is $189 worth of stuff, you're going to buy it right now? Yeah. Congratulations, man. Welcome to the Pedego family. Done. Done. Now let's make sure we get everything that you need for this bike. So I'm throwing these 2 items in, and then I'm going to add other line items because I've got my quote. You don't just go and walk up to the till. You make sure that you finish everything off on that list. Does that make sense, guys?
Yep.
Yeah, it's important that we practice that. So I'll come back to this, and we're going to role play this one out. So Josh, what kind of deal can you give me?
I appreciate you looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind?
Can you throw in that Senna helmet? So now, yeah, write this down. Write this down. So what you're saying.
So how would I?
Yeah, this is how you're going to say it, word for word. So what you're saying.
So what you're saying.
So what you're saying is, if I throw in. And you know, fill in the blank. So if I throw in, as long as it's under $200, if I throw in blank, you're going to buy this now. You're going to buy this now.
You're going to buy this now.
It's not, again, Steve, as you were aware, I mentioned this to Josh. You don't say you're going to buy this today. Today means that they can call you back sometime today. It's absolutely now. Just get it done. Part of the job as being, again, playing your A game, guys, is remembering that you are the expert, you're the trusted advisor, and you're the authority. And as an authority, you're like the eagle in the nest. And they're coming to you like a little eaglet, and they're just sitting there on the edge. And all you got, you're not doing this. You're just going, okay, spread your wings. Let's go. You're just giving them a little bit of pressure on the gas here. Let's go. I mean, because they're coming. What kind of deal can you give me? Hey, I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal, man. What exactly do you have in mind? I'm being totally open. And well, can you do this? So what you're saying is, if I can do this, you're going to do this now? Yeah. Congratulations. Welcome to Pedego family. Let's make sure you got all the accessories you need. I'm not done. They're not going to turn away from the rest of the deal that they just agreed to. Now what you're going to do is you're going to continue your job to be able to add line items that are going to be appropriate for them to have the best experience. What we need to practice is we go back to, what kind of deal can you give me, Josh?
I appreciate you looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind?
You know what? Can you throw in that pump?
So what you're saying is, if I throw in the pump, you're going to buy it now?
Yeah.
All right. Congratulations. Welcome to the Pedego family.
Hey!
Yeah.
Joey, clap for Josh. That's it, brother. That is exactly how
I forgot the accessory list.
Yeah, but no, that's fine. Yeah, you've closed a deal, and then we're gonna do this again a few more times so that you get it. But this is you've got it now. I'm telling you, this is how this will repeat itself, where you're gonna know in the middle of you know that the people are gone for a test ride, and you know that when they come back, they're going to ask you for a deal, and you already know ahead of time where you stand. So it gives you power. It gives you a sense of, okay, I've got strong footing, and it also gives Steve, as a business owner, the ability to step back and allow you to work your magic, and Steve to be able to continue to keep doing things at the 30,000 foot level as a business owner, where eventually you will probably find yourself, Josh, because you're learning skills that a lot of guys your age don't learn right now. Like this is stuff, it amazes me, but this is stuff they don't teach in school. Yeah. And they should, but they don't, which is okay, which is why I have my business. So it's all good. All right. So Steve, you know what? You got any wiggle room on this bike?
Hey, I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind?
Do you sell those set of helmets over there?
Yes, sir, we do.
So I'll tell you what, I'd like to get, do you have any black ones in stock?
I believe we do. What size are you looking for?
I'd need a medium. I don't have a big melon, but so tell you what, if you could throw in one of those set of helmets, yeah. Can you do that? Can you throw in a helmet?
Yeah, so if you're telling me I throw in the center helmet, we'll make the deal now.
Yeah.
I probably should have said buy the bike now.
What's that?
I should have said buy the bike now, right?
Yeah, it's fine, but you got the right idea of it, right? So just keep, and this is something that you and Josh can keep practicing. This needs to be role played. Your three biggest objections that you're going to run into is your product's too expensive. I want to go home and do some research. And then what kind of deal can you give me? Those are your big three. And then if time permits, in the future call, we could also work on some other objections that I see in the dojo. The other big one is I need to talk to my wife or I need to talk to my husband. Yeah. Right? That's a toughie. So, but let's keep focusing on these. Let's focus on this one again. So, Josh, hey man, I like the bike. I just I'd like to see. I'd like to know. Can you swing me a better price? Like, is that my price or can I get a better price?
Well, yeah, I appreciate you looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind?
If I could get that cool Bluetooth helmet, yeah. Can you throw that in?
Yeah, so what you're saying is if I throw that in, you're going to buy it now?
That's great. Yeah. Yeah, I'd do it now. Sure.
Oh, congratulations. Welcome to the Pedego family.
All right. Thanks, man. Yeah, let's do it. Okay. And then you could say, now let's just make sure you've got everything you need and you pull out your accessory list.
Yeah. So
make sure you guys do that. So well done of reminding me on that before, Josh. Okay, so Steve, what kind of deal can you give me on this this Interceptor?
I appreciate you looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind?
Can you knock off $500?
Unfortunately, I cannot. But let's come over here and see what we can work on.
Okay, so that's a good angle. So again, I would go right back into acknowledge, ask a question. Just use the formula, right? Because you already know that what your stack in value, and you already know your $200. So you just got to come back to this. This thing will help you all the time in tough situations, right? So, hey, I appreciate that you're looking for an absolutely killer deal, and then acknowledge the fact that, unfortunately, that would put me out of business. You just say it. Like, you know, so, hey, listen, I appreciate that you're looking for an absolutely killer deal. Unfortunately, that would put me out of business. What is a win-win? Like, so if they go over your $200 limit, you just say, what's a win-win that would be reasonable for both of us? You're still not, so you're still giving that 60-year-old negotiator an opportunity to play without giving them the finger to tell them to leave. You know what I mean? Because they still have, you're basically telling them, listen, you're being unreasonable, but what's a win-win? You're going to be flexible, but it's got to, ultimately, the win has to be yours, not theirs. They win if they buy either way. And you're willing to go to that $200 mark. You've made that clear. They just don't know it, and they don't have to know it. Like, some people will just pay full price, and you don't have to give them anything. Because let me ask you this, guys. Do you believe that people, after they buy, they go to their neighbors that just bought a Pedego, and they come out with their invoices and compare invoices and go, what did you pay? What did I pay? Like, they don't do it. Like, there are Pedego stores that have told me, well, I'm afraid that they've said, Joe, I give everybody the exact same deal right through. And I'm like, okay. And you can. Are you doing that because you're afraid that people are comparing invoices? And the answer is yes. Some people are actually afraid of that. And I'm like, well, they're not comparing invoices. Like, they're not. They're just going to say, you bought a Pedego too? Where did you buy it? I bought it at Pedego, Tampa. Sweet. Did they give you a good deal? Yes, they did. Awesome. Like that, they might say they threw in a helmet. That's as far as it's going to go.
Yeah.
Throwing in a helmet is certainly better than throwing in the $500. So what's a win-win that's going to, and that would be reasonable for both of us? What's a win-win that would be reasonable for both of us? So again, over $200, you get to go, hey, listen, I totally appreciate that you're looking for a killer deal that would put us out of business, but I got to be here to service everybody, including you. So let me ask you, what would be a win-win that'd be reasonable for both of us? Boom. So you'll have a script that'll take you to that next level if they go over. If they're under 200, you already know it. Thanks for, hey, totally appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind?
So don't
Josh, pardon me?
So don't counter offer, what you're saying.
Never. If you counter offer, what happens is you reveal your hand. So you keep your hand, your cards close to the chest. Hey, I appreciate that you're looking for a killer deal that would put me out of business, but what's a win-win here, Steve? I mean, I'm looking to work with you, man, but what's a win-win that would be reasonable? So they already know that 500 is too far. And if they say 400, you know what your answer is? Hey, listen, I think I said this before, but I appreciate that you're looking for a killer deal that will put me out of business. I cannot do that. But what would be a reasonable win-win that you have in mind? And I would go and I would keep doing it with cards like this if it took 10 freaking times until they got under $200. Because the minute that you tell them, I can give you $200 worth of accessories, okay, thanks, I'll think about it. They're going to walk. At least you're still engaged in the conversation by asking them a question. Right? You ever notice, like I told you before, you ever notice when you ask somebody a question, you hook the mind?
Yep.
Like I just did? Bring him in, baby. Oh, yeah. Line high. I just saw a video, by the way, 10 seconds. I saw a video of a tarpon being chased by a shark, and the tarpon jumped on the boat.
What?
I shit you not. I can't believe it. Like, yeah. Like, it's got to be where you guys are.
I gotta be down in Boca.
The tarpon was huge. The shark was huge.
I'm sure, man.
Yeah. And then the tarpon like bounced around the boat and then went back in the water. It was awesome. Yeah, it was awesome. All right. here's something else that's really cool about the SOS. This is also going to work with angry customers. And it's going to happen at times. Like, what do you mean you don't have bikes? Or your service department really sucks. Acknowledge, ask a question. Because the whole idea is you're just going to keep your emotional management, right? You're just going to keep your cool. Emotions go up, intelligence goes down. Hey, man, you know what? Your service department sucks. You guys are a-holes. I called corporate, blah, blah, blah. And meanwhile, like corporate, like all they want to do is delight the customer. So you got some a-hole on the line. Hey, wow. Obviously something happened to make you feel that way, Mr. or Mrs. Prospect. Can I ask you what happened? Can you elaborate? And then all you do with the angry customer is you just let them go. Just let them go nuts. Okay, yeah, what else? And let them get angry. And then what happens is they start to calm down, right?
Yep.
They're more angry. Now they're less angry. They're not going to get more angry. So you're listening to them. Okay, all right. And then the solution with the angry customer is, okay, well, thanks. And then some people are saying, like, you don't say, what do we need to do to fix this? Because oftentimes, if you get somebody who's irate, you know what they want? I want a new bike. I want a whole new bike. My chain keeps coming off the crank, and I got to put it back. I want a whole new bike. Like, I mean, dude, you're being completely irrational, right? But it happened. I got a flat. I want a new bike. What? And that can happen. I'm not kidding. So it's like, Mr. Customer, I totally appreciate that flats totally suck. I know it. What would be a win-win here for us? If I were able to repair your flat free of charge, would that be okay? Right? Like, I mean, I'm not giving you, basically saying, I'm not giving you a free bike. I can appreciate that you're looking for a free bike. Unfortunately, that is never going to happen. However, I am willing to work with you. And if I were able to do blank, would that interest you? If I could blank, would that interest you? But just by listening to a customer, it deflates the situation. So you do that through acknowledgement first, then ask the question. I do this with, and my wife knows it now. I mean, she's been able to see me do this. It's like, you know, hey, Joe, can you bring home some almond milk? Yeah, you got it. I'll do it. After dinner, she's making a coffee. She goes to the fridge. There's no almond milk. She looks at me and goes, and I go, okay, clearly I forgot to get the almond milk, and I can see that you're upset. What do I need to do to make this a win-win situation for us right now? And then she'll go, Joe, stop SOSing me. Obviously, SOSing you is pissing you off. What do I need to do to stop pissing you off at this very moment? And it's just like, it's just, you know, I keep using it. And seriously, like Shauna will say, stop SOSing me. And I just do it. I don't even think. I just do it. And I'm like, you know what? I totally get that I'm SOSing. I wonder why I do that all the time.
Repetition, man.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's good.
It is good. Like my kids when they were young. Like if Zoe's listening to this and you get the, I don't want to go to school or I don't want to eat, like, you know, it's like, hey, you know what? I can totally appreciate that you don't want to school. There was a time when I was young, I didn't want to go either. But don't you want to learn a lot so that you can get ahead in this world? I don't want to eat my broccoli. Yeah, you know what? I can tell. Sometimes broccoli can suck. But don't you want to be big and strong and healthy? I mean, I used to like, yeah, okay, well, what do you got to do then? You going to leave your broccoli on your plate or are you going to eat it? I'm going to eat it. Okay, do it. I want to watch you do it. And then high fives. Celebrate all wins, right? It's not just in work. It's celebrate with your kids. So this has helped me, like, acknowledge, ask a question. It's brilliant. It's awesome. So we talked about what kind of deal can you give me? We mentioned a little bit about your product's too expensive. Here's another one that you're going to hear. Actually, I'm going to give you another one. I'm going to give you two more today. You're going to hear the I can't afford it. And usually it's going to go, right? It's going to be expensive. And you're going to say, hey, thanks for letting me know how you feel. What exactly are we comparing it to, right? Then it's going to go from expensive to afford it. I can't afford it. This one's awesome.
Thank you for holding. All of our agents are assisting other callers. Please hold.
I was listening to the person who was just saying or the recorded message, and I thought, oh my God, he's getting on the call.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Your product's too expensive? Hey, thanks for letting me know how you feel. What exactly are we comparing it to? They're going to say, well, the truth is, I mean, $3,000, I just can't afford it. Acknowledge, ask a question. You know what, Josh? You're not the first person to mention this to me, but obviously you like the quality. If I could get you into this bike and you didn't have to pay for 6 months interest-free, would you be willing to give that a try?
Heck yeah.
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 So what we're doing is I'm going to offer PayPal, and I'm using PayPal as the option. I don't know what Finance It or Affirm or other, I don't know what other financing options that you guys have.
Midwest, and they have 6 months, no interest.
Okay. So ultimately the wording of it, what we want to do is we want to frame it in the person's mind, because here's the other thing that you got to understand. Shit.
Go ahead.
I'm
Sorry.
all excited for you. So here's the other thing that you got to understand. There's a difference between right? Price is what you pay, value is what you get. There is a difference between price and cost. Right? Because this is what you pay, but you're paying for value. So here's what I mean by this. And again, let me contextualize it. Somebody pays $2,000 for a Rad Power bike, or they pay $3,000 for a Pedego bike. We know that for me, I am not going to try to compare, hey, we have this derailleur, they have this derailleur, we have this many watts, they have this many watts, we have this warranty. That's what versus what. You're really not going to separate yourself for the value of what you have to offer. What separates you from Rad Power? And then you have to put it in the form of a question to get somebody to think about it so that they can come up with their own answer and go, holy shit, I got to deal with you guys. That's what true salesmanship is. It's not telling you, right? Telling isn't selling. Asking is selling. So it's like, yeah, I can get a Rad Power for about $1,000 less. Acknowledge, ask a question. Hey, you know what, Steve? I love the fact that you're doing your research. Good for you, man. Let me ask you, how important is service to you?
I can service my own bikes.
Is that right? So do you have parts in stock?
I don't, but I can get them fairly cheap off of eBay.
So yeah, you know exactly where this is going, right?
Only because this happened to me, man, the other day. He freaking knows. So I was like, okay, you know.
And there's some people where you go, hey, you know what? No sweat. I mean, one of the things that we offer you is we offer a service department, and you get that up front with us. Never mind the community and everything else. And so if somebody says, hey, I can get parts off of eBay, I would just look at them and go, you know what? Then I wish you all the best of luck. Good for you.
Pretty much what I did.
And you can also say, so if you've already made up your mind, why are you in here right now? Like I would honestly be like, I'm curious. So you clearly have done this type of research and you believe that you can get these parts that good luck. Why are you here talking to me right now? Is it because we have a level of expertise that eBay doesn't? Because It's true. You are the authority. You're the expert. Because the fact of the matter is, when eBay, and you could say, listen, sir, I want to just foreshadow this. Price is what you pay and value is what you get. Because the price of what you pay for right now has a cost attributed to it later. Is there a guarantee that this vendor on eBay, because eBay is a big company, but is the vendor on eBay, have they been around for over 11 years as a leader in electric bike technology like Pedego? And if the answer is no, that's part of what you pay for. The cost to you, and I can tell you in my experience and in Pedego Corporate's experience, we've heard of literally hundreds of bike brands that are here today, gone tomorrow. And we're talking even some of the big brands. You know, there's brands, Stromer out of Switzerland. They're no longer in the market. Easy Motion Electric Bikes by BH, who I personally work for, they're out of the market. Good luck getting parts. And they're still around in Spain. But if you're going to buy a brand online and not get service, and here's the thing, there's a difference between, do you know, and I would ask, do you know what the difference is between maintenance and service? It's like this. Maintenance is like this. Do you have a car? Yeah. Okay, do you ever get an oil change? Yeah. Okay, well, an oil change is maintenance. Because what happens if you don't get your oil changed? Eventually, what happens to your engine? It blows up, right? It blows up. So it seizes. So what is the cost for you? Same thing for an electric bike. You get to get the value of being able to have regular maintenance from experts like us that are trained technicians to help that bike of yours running smooth. And one of the other things that you get by having our location, don't call it a store. You have a location. When you come to our location, we can also offer you loaner bikes that other places that if you buy it online, when your bike is out of service, it's out of service. You can come to us and at least you're still on the road. There's value to that. So you can definitely come up with different ways to stack value. But again, product's too expensive. Thanks for letting me know how you feel. What exactly are you comparing it to? Well, it's, I don't know. It's just that I can't afford it. So write this down, Josh. Step one, acknowledge. So you're going to say, well, you're certainly not the first person to mention this to me. You're certainly not the first person to mention this to me. All right. So you're certainly not the first person to mention this to me. Then you're going to say, if I could, actually, sorry, if we could, we're going to use the word we. Again, the subconscious mind picks up on that. If we could get you into this bike right now, again, power word, now. If we, I'm putting a lot of neuro-linguistic programming here for you guys, even if you don't have to understand the whole, I'm just telling you, this is freaking magical. It's like rabbit, it works. So if we could get you into this bike right now and you didn't have to pay for 6 months, interest-free, would you be willing to give that a try? When you say, would you be willing to give that a try, the word try tells the subconscious mind that they get a chance to try it and they can choose to give it back. That's just how our brains will pick up on wordplay. This is almost Jedi mind trick. I wish it was that cool. I wish I could literally wave my hand and say, you're buying 2 interceptors now. I'm buying 2 interceptors now. But it's pretty close. So it's like, I can't afford it. Hey, you know what, Josh? You're certainly not the first person to mention this to me, man. I get it. I mean, times can be tough with Corona or, I get it. But here's the thing. I know you love this bike. So if I could get you, if we could get you into this bike right now and you didn't have to pay for 6 months interest-free, so you get to ride out of here today, like right now, would you be willing to give that a try?
Definitely.
So that, and we're going to practice that one. What I just said, is when you hear somebody say, I can't afford it, a lot of times we, in our comfort zone, we feel bad for people. Like, I can tell you, I got a call coming up today with a young guy who's in the dojo with me, and he's been in the dojo with me for the last 2 months, but he's a young guy. Like, he's like 20. And I caught myself feeling bad for this kid. I've got a call with him at 5 o'clock today. And I have to slap myself out of it. I've been helping this kid. Again, he's 20. He's a young man. Been helping this young guy He's been paying my monthly fee in the dojo. And now he says, hey, I've been getting great results. He's been giving me testimonials. Just because he's 20 doesn't mean that he can't afford my other program. That he's even said, Joe, what other stuff have you got? I'm interested in taking other training from you. So now he wants to do other training. And I was catching myself earlier today looking at my schedule of stuff that I have to do. And I'm like, I got this call with this Connor guy. I feel bad for him. Like, what do you mean I feel bad for him? I've been showing him how to sell, and his commission checks are all-time best. So even I catch myself. Don't feel bad, because if they don't spend the money with you, I promise you, they're going to spend the money somewhere else. Like, so it might as well be with you. So when somebody says, I can't afford it, don't feel bad, because all you're doing is people don't want to be sold. They want to choose to buy. If they're in the store and they find that it's expensive, what do you say? Thanks for letting me know. Well, go ahead.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, dude, you got this.
Which one? The last one?
Yeah. Your product's too expensive. I'm putting you on the ropes. Go ahead. You got this. Come on, we're right here. We got this. Do it. Your product's too expensive, Josh.
Well, you're certainly not the first one to mention.
Hang on. Thanks for letting me know how you feel. What exactly are you comparing it to?
Okay.
Your product's too expensive.
Thanks for letting me know how you feel. What exactly were you comparing it to?
Not really comparing it to anything. The truth is, I can't afford it.
Ooh. Well, you're certainly not the first person to mention this to me. And then I say the 6-month.
Yep.
Part, right?
You got it, bro. Go for it.
So if we could get you into this bike right now and you didn't have to pay 6 months interest free, would you be willing to give this a try?
I love it.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that's the direction that it's going to take. Oftentimes people go, whoa, that's a lot of money. And then, well, what are we comparing it to? Nine times out of 10, I don't know. And then it's like, I just didn't want to spend that kind of money. Well, okay. I didn't want to spend that kind of money doesn't necessarily mean that they can't afford it. Then what this means is either we have to give them finance options or I have to create value. Right? I wasn't planning on spending that kind of money doesn't mean that they can't afford it. So you got to listen twice as much as we speak. So, hey man, that's a lot of money for a bike. Hey, thanks for letting me know how you feel, Steve. What exactly are we comparing it to? I don't know. I just didn't think that these e-bikes were that kind of money. I just can't afford it. What would you say, Steve? I can't afford it.
You're certainly not the first person to come to me with that. If I could put you in this bike interest-free for 6 months, would that interest you?
Would you be willing to give that a try?
Give that a try.
Yeah, man. Would that interest you is good. I just know that, yeah, no sweat, man. What I know that from my experience is when you say, would you be willing to give that a try, it's a little softer in terms of the approach. So it gives people a chance to go, yeah, I'd be willing to give that a try. Well, if they give it a try, they're taking the bike home. And I don't know if we talked about this, but again, from a strategy perspective, guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, if somebody does take a Pedego home, 1 being they hate it, 10 being, oh my God, this is absolutely awesome and I love it. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do people who have bought bikes from you feel? Where are they?
Honestly, we'd have to say 10, man.
Yeah. I would say.
Right? So if somebody is on the fence and you've said, hey, I want to, it brings me to the next one. I want to go home and do some research. We're going to come back and we're going to practice the hell out of this on Thursday. Research. Go home and do a bit of research. Yeah. No, you don't. You want to get out of here and go online and see if you can find it cheaper. That's what that is. This is BS, right? So we know this. This is the whole point of doing sales training, because all of this stuff has led us to this place. We're coming in for the close. I want to go home and do some research. This is what I say. I go, you know what, Josh? I totally appreciate that you want to be well informed. Right? Hey, man, I totally appreciate that you want to be well informed. What is it that you want to research that you and I didn't get a chance to talk about today? You and I both know that if I said that to you, Josh, you're the expert. You're the authority. You're the trusted advisor. This, I want to go home and do some research, is absolute effing bullshit. And all I'm telling you is, I just want to see if I can get a deal. Right? But I don't have the heart to say it. This whole thing of...
Yes.
Oh, I hope he gets in, man.
Me too.
This whole thing about wanting to do research, hear me out. This is how it goes. Your product's too expensive. Well, thanks for letting me know how you feel. What exactly are we comparing it to? I'm not really sure. I just, I can't afford it. Well, hey, Josh, you know what? You're certainly not the first person to mention this to me. If I could show you a way to be able to get into this bike right now and you didn't have to pay for it for 6 months, interest-free, would you be willing to give that a try? You know what? I just want to be able to go do a bit of research first. Josh, I totally appreciate that you want to be well informed. What is it specifically that you want to research that you and I didn't get a chance to talk about today? See what, that's how it's going to go, bro. Then it's this. Well, so what is it that you want to research that you and I didn't get a chance to talk about today? And you know what they're going to say? I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? Then you can say, well, let me cut to the chase here, Josh. We cut to the chase and ask. So I'm going to say this, right? Expensive, can't afford it, want to go do some research, cut to the chase. I'm going to say, is this about the price? I mean, are you wanting to go home and do some research, see if you can get a better deal? Yeah, I mean, okay. I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? Ooh. And little do they know, I'm actually negotiating with the mofo and he doesn't realize it. And I'm going to close him. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And I'm not being manipulative because I'm not allowing them to take off and go and rip me off for my expertise and just try to beat on price. Steve, are you in?
I'm here now.
No, yeah, but did you get an appointment?
No, dude. They freaking answered the phone. Are you calling for the coronavirus appointment? Yes, I am. This is not the second time they've asked me this. Okay, we're going to put you in the queue. We'll be right back. It puts me on hold, and then I get a voicemail that says, we are extremely high call volumes. I couldn't pick everything she said. Something about please try a call later, and hung up.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Gosh.
Wow, man.
I'll try first thing in the morning tomorrow, man.
Yeah, I mean,
So frustrating.
No kidding. I mean, listen. I'm at a loss for words. I mean, you obviously have to stay in state, right? There's no other options that you can't go outside of Florida to.
No idea.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's stick to this. I mean,
No, we're good. Let's keep going.
my prayers are with you, man. I mean, you sound good. You look good. So let's keep hammering it, bro. Yeah. So I just went over with Josh the flow chart. And we've had an opportunity what's great, guys, is that we haven't been interrupted. So we've been able to get a lot more done this round. And Josh was actually laughing right before you got back to sit down, Steve, because this is a classic, right? Because what I've covered is how it will typically go down. So when you get to I want to go home and do some research, right? We all agree the research that they're going to go do isn't comparative brands. It's always about price. It comes down and it's about the money, right? We have a left brain and a right brain. The left brain is the logical side. The right brain is the emotional side. We need to create enough value so that the emotional side takes over. And then it takes over so that it's just illogical to not buy it. But for them, everybody's the same way. They want to be able to get it for the lowest price possible. I want to go home and do some research. Well, hear me out. The typical flow of this is your product's too expensive. Hey, Steve, thanks for letting me know how you feel, man. What exactly are we comparing it to? it's just, the truth is I just can't afford it. You know what? You're certainly not the first person to mention this to me in these times, and I know it can be pretty challenging, man, but a lot of people want to get a good quality bike so that they can ride it a lot and enjoy it and have fun and make sure that they get great value long term. So let me ask you this. If I could get you into this bike right now and you didn't have to pay for it for 6 months interest free, would you be willing to give that a try? I don't know about financing. I mean, here's the thing. I just want to do a bit of research. I'm going to go home and do a little bit of research. You know what, Steve? I totally appreciate that you want to be well informed, and that's a smart play. No problem. I'm just curious. What is it specifically that you want to go research that you and I didn't get a chance to talk about today? I don't know. And then I would cut to the chase, and I'm going to ask. I'm going to say, so Steve, I mean, you want to go do some research? Are you looking to research to see if you can get a better price? Yeah, I mean, I want to be able to get the best price possible. Totally appreciate that you're looking for a good deal, Steve. What exactly do you have in mind?
Boom.
Right? And then now we can at least start a negotiation process because we're not going to get ghosted, guys. Remember, the problem that we run into is we don't get enough test rides to begin with, right? So we need to get butts on bikes, and we need to be able to do follow-up. You still get more butts on bikes, more sales. I have your name, I have your email address, I have your phone number, I can follow up with you. Then afterwards, it's long ride, quote, they come back. They're in love with the bike. So if at first the product's too expensive, get them on some rides, it's not about the price anymore. Then it's like, well, I can't afford it. Well then, hey, you're certainly not the first person to mention this to me. Every one of my clients wants to be able to get great value, and they don't want to get something that's going to break on them later, which costs you even more money. And honestly, guys, I've had many Pedego stores that have experienced this where people bought an inferior product with zero service, and they've had to throw the bike out only to come to a Pedego store and buy it. So they end up spending around $6,500 to $7,000 when they could have spent $4,000. So, you're better off buying it once and getting the right one and get great value and great service as opposed to buying something inferior. And, if somebody says, well, I want to buy something inexpensive because I'm not sure I'm going to use it, the answer to that is, you know what, I appreciate that you don't want to spend too much money right now. But wouldn't you agree that something with inferior ride qualities would limit the amount of times you actually want to ride it? SOS. Totally appreciate you don't want to spend a ton of money right now, but wouldn't you agree, like that's a classic, wouldn't you agree that blank? So wouldn't you agree that if you buy something that's of lesser ride quality, you're less likely to ride it? So I don't understand the logic of wanting to spend less money in this particular case, Mr. or Mrs. Customer. Ultimately, you want to get yourself a really good product so that you enjoy it. Because what you told me earlier, if I go all the way back to those questions of who's it for, who else is going to use it, how are you going to use it, where are you going to ride it, how long is your typical ride, are you going to ride alone or not, and are there any physical issues? You told me this, and this, and you're going to ride a long time. Yeah, so I'm going to go back and I'm justifying and I'm going to stack value. So coming back to this, guys, you're going to get it. You've got a flow chart now. Product's too expensive. I can't afford it. I want to go home and do some research. What kind of deal can you give me? It usually will go in that order. And every objection is just a stalling tactic. So Josh, we're going to practice.
Oh boy.
Dude, you got this, man. We got this. And here's the beauty of it. Right now, you're in the Joe Marcoux SOS dojo, okay? I'm your sensei. I got this. It's no problem, right? All we're going to do is know this. It's safe to make mistakes here, right? I'd rather you make mistakes here on this Zoom call than you make mistakes out in the real world with customers, and then you have to take years to get the skills. I could tell by the look on your face that when I went over this and you saw the progress, you just went, this is it. I got it. So the first step is get them on the bike, get their information. Then after that, it's just pick the bike that's appropriate for them. Then it's handle objections. The bikes will sell themselves as long as you get them on it. Like the bikes don't just sell themselves just because they're there and they're beautiful. You got to get butts on bikes. So, Josh, product's too expensive.
I appreciate you looking for a good deal. What do
Well,
you have in mind?
Okay, so this is the exercise. I'm gonna say stop and start over till you get it right. So if your product's too expensive, thanks for letting me know how you feel. What exactly are we comparing it to?
Yeah.
Okay. So Josh, your product's too expensive.
Thanks for letting me know how you feel. What exactly are we comparing it to?
I'm not comparing it to anything. Truth is, actually, Josh, I just can't afford it.
All right.
Go ahead and read it. Go ahead.
You're certainly not the first person to mention this to me. If we could get you into this bike right now and you didn't have to pay 6 months interest free, would you be willing to give this a try?
You know, as tempting as that sounds, Josh, you know what? I think what I want to do is I want to go home and do a bit of research. Did we write down this one?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
I think I remember.
Here's what you're going to write down. He's going to write down. It's okay. We're going to do this over and over and over again, so it's muscle memory, right? I want to go home and do some research. Acknowledge. I appreciate that you want to be well informed. I appreciate that you want to be well informed. And I love the fact that you're writing this stuff down, Josh, because even if you don't look back at these notes in the future, it's just going to be somewhere in your subconscious where you're going to go grab it. Because I am going to email this stuff to you, but we're going to practice it. So I want to go home and do some research. Hey, I totally appreciate that you want to be well informed. What is it that you want to go research? What is it that you want to go research that you and I didn't talk about today? What is it that you want to go research that you and I didn't talk about today? And what's great about that, again, what is it that you want to research that you and I didn't talk about today? And sometimes you can, I mix up, I add words, like I'll say, hey, what is it specifically that you want to research that you and I didn't get a chance to talk about today? But ultimately it's there, right? So what is it that you want to research that you and I didn't talk about today? What I'm saying in that question is I'm the expert. You're going to go do some research on the rabbit hole of the internet where obviously everything is real, right? I mean, and I'll say to people, hey, I'm curious, when you go search online, is everything that you read online truth? And if they say, well, no, and it's like, okay, so are you feeling that everything that I've told you today is the truth? If they say no, I'd say, so, like, I mean, come on, really? Product's too expensive. Thanks for letting me know how you feel. What exactly are you comparing it to? It's nothing. I just can't afford $3,000 plus accessories. Hey, you know what? I totally understand where you're coming from. You're certainly not the first person to mention this to me. These are challenging times for people, but you obviously love quality. If I could get you on this particular bike right now and you didn't have to pay for 6 months, interest-free, would you be willing to give that a try? I just need to do a bit of research, Josh. Go for it. Go ahead and read it. I need to do some research.
So I appreciate that you want to be well informed. What is it that you? Oh wait, what is it
that you want to research?
Want to go research that you and I didn't talk about today.
Nice. And the answer that people are going to give you is, I don't know. So from here, it's, I don't know. Like there's nowhere else for them to go unless they tell you specifically that they're going to another brand, then so be it. Most of the time it's, I don't know. So if it's I don't know, then what you do is you go in and you ask. And what you're asking is, so you can say, so, okay, so you're going to go do some research, like, and you don't know what you're looking for. Let me just ask you this question. Are you trying to go online to see if you can get a better price? I mean, because that's what it is, guys. There's no other freaking way around it. Do you like the bike? Yeah. Okay, so why do you want to go? What is it specifically you want to go research that you and I didn't get a chance to talk about today? I don't know. All right, so I know, because I know what it is, and you don't want to hurt my feelings, because I've given you all of my time and energy, and I've allowed you to come to my store where we're the experts, and I've allowed you to try my bikes for free and soak up all of this energy and expertise. Are you just trying to look for a better price? And they're going to be embarrassed, and they're going to say, well, yeah, I mean, I just want to make sure I get the best possible deal. What do you say?
I appreciate you looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? Yeah.
You get it? You're there, man. You are there. Love it. And so if I said, hey, man, well, if you could throw in one of those helmets, can you do that?
So what you're saying is if I throw in a helmet, you're going to buy this right now?
Yes, I am.
Congratulations. Welcome to the Pedego family.
It's boom!
Oh.
That's it, bro. Good for you, man. Steve's proud of you. He's beaming.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, there's my boy. There's my boy. Does that make sense, guys? Does all of this just seem like the flow just works?
So it kind of like goes back in a circle, basically, just like
it truly does. I mean, the conversations that you're going to have on the floor are going to be repetitive. The key to mastering sales is understanding ahead of time what those conversations will be. You got to anticipate. It's another part of your A game. A for authority, A for acknowledge, A for high energy in the sense of your A game, but anticipation is key. Well, I've given you a blueprint, literally a blueprint of anticipation. So it's this step here, it's the box, right? So the box is, it's expensive. Hey, thanks for letting me know how you feel. What exactly are you comparing it to? They're going to tell, then the next one, I can't afford it. If I could get you this in terms of financing, interest-free, would you be willing to give that a try? Well, you know what? I want to go home and do some research. Hey, I totally appreciate that you want to be well-informed. What is it specifically you want to go research that you and I didn't get a chance to talk about today? I don't know. Okay, listen, Josh, we spent a quality amount of time here, and I know that you like the bike, so let me just ask you flat out. Are you just going online to see if you can get a better price? Well, yeah, I mean, I just want to, they're gonna say yes or no. I'd be shocked if they said no. So if they say anything that sounds like a yes, hey, I totally appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What did you have in mind? And you open up the opportunity to let them feel good, because again, we're dealing with those 60-plus-year-old people, and we're getting them the deal that they want. We close, and then we go over the extra list of things, and you're golden. So let's do this a few more times, because on the next call, we're going to talk about, and I'm just going to foreshadow, we've got about 20 to 25 minutes. On the next call, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about creating a buying frenzy. Did we talk about the popcorn method?
No.
Okay. So we're going to talk about the popcorn method, dealing with time vampires, some social media hacks, networking, and then some other stuff like I talked about, congratulating and whatnot, but using technology like photos, videos, permission to post, and negotiating after you've closed. Because just because you got them to buy something doesn't mean that you're done your negotiation. There's other things that you get that help decrease your cost per lead. We talked about using the phone and creating hey, give me the first 2 names of the people that you know. Well, there's other things that you can do to post that help drive traffic. Like I've been doing this thing called a blunt post. Did I mention that to you already, Steve? Blunt posting, where it's like, hey, I'm looking for 6 personal trainers that want to enter the SOS dojo and double their sales 30 minutes once a week, right? Like we've been basically working in the SOS dojo for the last, couple hours here. So I've given you examples of how SOS works. Like it's powerful, right?
Yeah.
So I'm getting people to pay me $297 a month to come in and just keep practicing their sales once a week, because people are busy. They don't have a lot of time. But like this kid, Connor, he's 21 years old. And in the last 8 weeks, I've literally helped him triple his income, like triple it, because he's just practicing and he's coming in and he's killing it. So now he's saying, hey, Joe, I want to be able to get more training from you, which is great. So the blunt post, what I do is I create content that is valuable. Like if you use your YouTube channel, you would say how to buy an electric bike without losing money. Well, people would go, well, what's that all about? And you create video content for YouTube and Instagram TV. Of course, it's all based on what you have to offer. And it catches people's imagination. And what you're doing is you're giving value. You're giving value. You're giving them tips. Then about every 7th or 8th post, you make an offer. And your blunt post is specific. So you're saying, looking for couples that are in their 60s that want to get fit while having fun. Message me fun. And then what you do is you go back and forth on direct message as much as you can, but you're closed Mondays and Tuesdays. So what you're going to do, guys, is you're going to go and use, and I'm going to share my screen. Again, I'm jumping out of my, I'm giving you guys like way more extras than anybody else, but I don't care. I want you guys to crush it.
Thank you.
So on you go to Calendly. This is an app this is an application that you can use. It's free. So if I go to my account, after you set yourself up, I've got my own Calendly account. And I can set up calls with people where they can actually go on and they can purchase, like Army of One sales training. Like it's $7,500, right? You guys got a killer deal on it. But like if you want to do SOS, a 6-week workshop, it's $997. If you want to go into the dojo, it's $297. And anybody can go. So let's say, you could start off just getting Calendly and setting up a 15-minute call. So let me show you what this looks like. So if somebody goes to my website and they want to schedule a call with me, they can go and say, okay, I want a 15-minute call with Joe. Then you pick the days that I'm available, and you go, okay, I'll call Joe on Thursday. Well, he's available from 5 or 5:30 because the rest of the time I'm freaking booked, right? Friday, I'm available at 11, 2, 2:30, and 3. That's it, right? So you can pick when you're available, when you're not. And what's cool is so this is how it would work. I'm doing this on my phone, and somebody is messaging me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Guys, you don't want to stay on text for too long or email. That's only 7% of the way that we communicate is through words. I need to get you on the phone, and on Calendly, I can get you on a Zoom call. So, dude, Steve, even if you're closed, you can put it in Calendly that you're booking an appointment, and it's free. Like the Calendly app is free. You can book it so that people will meet you at the store at a specific time. Well, now it's like Calendly is like having this, but it's on your phone. And you can send somebody the Calendly link in a text. I can send somebody the Calendly. I sent a guy, dude, check this out. I sent the Calendly link today to a dude from Spain, and I've got a call with him on Friday at 12:30. So check this out. Where is it? Calendly, right here. You see my email, guys?
I can't see your screen.
No.
You don't see it?
I see you. I don't see the screen.
Oh, okay, hang on. Let me open this up. How about now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so this guy went to Calendly. He set up a 15-minute call. His name is Luis Planas. I just spoke to him. I went back and forth with him on Instagram direct message today. I put a post up on Instagram, a blunt post, right? So I've been giving people value, and then I said, looking for 6 personal trainers. That was my latest one. Looking for 6 personal trainers who are interested in doubling their business in 30 minutes a week. Direct message me double to find out more. I get this message when I wake up this morning, double from this guy in Spain. I'm like, no way. So go back and forth with him, and I said, hey, Luis, I got to go. I got phone calls and training to do. Here's my Calendly planner for a free 15-minute call. Book if you're interested in connecting with me because my thumbs are getting tired. Let's get on a call. So he's booked a 15-minute call with me, right? So, you know, and that's, oh, he put it at Central European time. That might be a challenge. Anyways, I'll have to check. Anyways, that might be like midnight my time. And I made it specific. It should be 12:30 Central. Anyways, that's my challenge. But the whole point of it is that you can use Calendly, guys. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about that on Thursday's call, because when you use tools that are free, it saves you time. And even if your store is closed, you get people committing to either talk to you on the phone, or you could set up Zoom calls. So like, let me go back to this. If I have a Calendly meeting, like right now, if I confirm this, I don't know if you can see my whole screen. So you see, I see confirm. I put in my name, my email, I can add guests, and then I can schedule the event. So if I schedule the event, it's going to be a 15-minute phone call. But I can go in here and I can actually, I can set this up where when can people book this event? And then I can set up my calendar, and then I can also have the confirmation in terms of how it's going to work. Like it is so easy, and I can even ask questions. You know, I can tell them, hey, like, what are the biggest challenges that you're having in your business right now? But in a 15-minute phone call, I'll be able to figure that out. So a 15-minute call, I'm going to say, now that he's booked it, I will email him a Zoom link, because I've got him on email. Does that all that make sense, guys?
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, I see so many stores doing social media, and that's great. But what's the point of social media if you're not getting people on the phone? Because nobody's going to, like, realistically, nobody's really going to buy anything from us, whether it's me as a coach or sales trainer, or you as a business selling electric bikes. It's very rare that somebody's going to buy unless they eventually talk to you and then get into the store. So the goal has to be go from social media, and I've hooked you enough that you're interested, where it's like, hey, you know what? We can keep going back and forth. Why don't we set up a phone call? If I get on the phone, at least I've got, you know, you can hear me, and I can get the words across, and I can hear or I get you on a Zoom call, and this is as best as it gets other than getting in the store. You can set it up so that it's like Calendly meeting at your location at a specific time, and they'll commit to it. That's the point, because you want them in the store. Why? Butts on bikes. Butts on bikes. You need more bobs. If they ain't bobbing, they ain't buying. So, Josh, here we go, man. You ready?
I think so.
Yeah,
no,
you are, man.
I think so. I am ready.
You know it. Absolutely. Josh, you know what? These bikes, they're impressive. It's just I had no idea they were this much money. Like this is a lot of dough, man. Thanks for letting me know how you feel.
Wait, no, that would be the.
This is a lot of money.
You're certainly not.
Yeah, I'm saying it's. I'm not saying I can't afford it. I'm just saying it's a lot of money. I'm saying it's expensive. It's a lot of money.
You're certainly not the first person to mention this to me.
Nope.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No?
This is a lot of money. Thanks for letting me know how you feel. What exactly are you comparing it to? So let's do this again. Josh, you know what? These bikes are beautiful, but they're a lot of money.
Thanks for letting me know how you feel. What exactly are you comparing it to?
Nice. You know what? We're not really comparing it to anything, I guess. It's just, I mean, the truth is, you know, $4,000. I just can't afford it right now.
You're certainly, that would be that one, right?
You got it.
You're certainly not the first person to mention this to me. So if we could get you into this bike right now and you didn't have to pay 6 months interest free, would you be willing to give this a try?
Yeah, I would. Congratulations. Welcome to Pedego.
Congratulations.
That right there. Done. I just said yeah. So sometimes you'll get to, you don't have to go all the way through to what kind of deal I can't afford it. If I can do this, do you want to do it now? You want to give this a try? Yeah. All right, let's fill out the paperwork. All right, let's try it again.
All right.
So Josh, You know what? These bikes are way more money than I thought. Like, these are really expensive.
I didn't, hold on. I didn't write that one down.
Thanks for letting me know how you feel. You never wrote that one down?
I thought I did.
All right.
So it'd be, thanks for letting me know how you feel. What exactly are we comparing it to?
Correct. We're not really comparing it to anything. I mean, it's just, you know what? I just want to go home and do some research.
I appreciate that you want to be well informed. What is it that you want to go research that you and I haven't talked about today?
Right, because it might not always go in this.
Right.
So excellent. So now you right.
You
so
went out of order.
Just because right, there's no guarantee that you're going to go in that direction.
Yeah.
And so, what is it specifically that I'm going to go research? I don't know. I mean, I. The truth is, I just can't wrap my head around spending $4,000 on a bike. I mean, I know it's good. It's just I just can't afford it.
Well, you're certainly not the first person to mention this to me, right?
You got it.
If we could get you into this bike right now and you didn't have to pay 6 months interest free, would you be willing to give this a try?
Tell you what, I'd be interested if you threw in that Senna helmet.
So what you're saying is if I threw in that Senna helmet, would you go, wait, hold on. You're going to buy this now.
You got it. You got it. So see how, like, the pieces of the puzzle, you have them all. Now all we have to do is just play this out a few times so that it's just going to be automatic. But you see, like, Josh, you've got it, man. Like, you've got it, right?
Just got to keep practicing it.
You got to keep practicing, brother. That's it. That's totally it. So, Steve, your product's too expensive, man. Like, these bikes are, like, I can't believe who pays $4,000 for a bike? These are expensive.
How do you feel, man? What are you comparing it to?
Well, I'd love to tell you I'm comparing it to a car, but I'm not. You know, I didn't know that it was going to be this much money. So tell you what, I just want to go home and do a bit of research before I make a decision.
Hey, man, I completely understand you want to be well informed, but just curious, what haven't you and I talked about that you need to go research?
You know, I don't know. I just want to go online and see what else is out there, I guess.
I appreciate that. What exactly are you specifically going to look for?
Right. So you can go there, which is great. That's SOS. But I think that part of the deal is when they say they want to go do some research, it's a cop out because what they really want is they want a better price. So I'd say, listen, I would just ask. I would just go right out like, okay, Steve, listen, what is it specifically you want to go? I appreciate that you want to be well informed. What is it specifically you want to go research that you and I didn't get a chance to talk about today? I don't know. Okay. Are you thinking that you can go online and maybe find a better price? Is that what you're interested in doing? Just ask. And if they give you anything of, well, maybe, if they even say maybe, you know what you say? I appreciate you looking for a good deal.
What exactly did you have in mind?
You got it. Go right here, right? Because it'll flow into that. So, Steve, you know what? Ask me for a deal. Say, are you looking? I can appreciate that you want to go do some research. Ask me that one again. Appreciate that you want to be well informed.
Yeah, appreciate you want to be well informed. What is it that you and I haven't talked about that you want to go research?
I don't know, man. I just want to be able to go and figure stuff out on the internet, I guess. Figure stuff out online.
Are you trying to look for a better deal?
Well, yeah. I mean, I just want to make sure I get the best price.
All right. Well, what is it that you're comparing to?
I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. Go ahead, man. Ask me.
You're looking for a good deal. What are we comparing to?
What exactly did you have in mind?
Oh, what exactly did you have in mind?
Yeah. So now we're not comparing products. It's I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. You're simply wanting to find out what's your expectation. So, hey, I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What do you have in mind? I'm not saying that I'm going to fulfill your expectation unless, of course, it's within the realm of possibility that we all discussed earlier. And I'm there. So I say, hey, you know what? tell you what, man, if you could throw in that helmet and that pump, I'll do it right now.
All right, so if you're saying I throw in a helmet and a pump, you'll buy it right now.
Yes, I will.
Congratulations. Welcome to the Pedego family.
I'm so happy to be here. All right. How do you guys feel about all this today? Was this good stuff?
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Like, just a lot of repetition, man. Just kind of keep
It's got to be done.
doing it. And
It's got to be done. So we'll catch up again on Thursday. Same thing. If you guys could do me a favor, I asked you guys to do an exercise of putting quotes together for the bikes. Did you guys get a chance to do that yet?
I got your quote and I went through it.
Yeah.
And pretty much marked what I have in the store.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, whatever. The idea behind it, Steve, is whatever you have as accessories that are going to be appropriate for the specific product SKU, just put it on your quote. Like, there are accessories that are available in some stores that other stores don't carry. You might have things that aren't available at that specific store. I just want to see it just to make sure that you have it on hand, because all of these little exercises will just help you leverage your time. Because I don't want you to be at the point where you go, okay, yeah, congratulations, welcome to the Pedego family, and then you go, what else do you need? What else do you need is right here on the list. Based on this bike, so you're getting yourself a latch, ma'am, you're going to need this, you're going to need this, you're going to need this, you're like all of it. Like, you're going to need the carrying case. You're going to need all of it. Because there's things that are available for the latch that aren't available for other bikes. Have it on the list so you don't forget. Because God forbid she goes onto Amazon and then comes back to you later and says, could you install this shit?
Oh, man.
Drive you nuts. It's just not right.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I will see you on Thursday. Steve, do me a favor. If you find out today or tomorrow that, like, you get through it, I know we're going to see each other on Thursday. Just, I don't want to worry about you, brother. I want to make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
All right? I really.
Yeah.
I
Same.
mean,
All right, guys.
do it just because we have a 6-year-old. I just want to know.
Yeah.
Nice job. They're being like pricks over there, man. They're not sending anybody home. They want you here at work. If you're sick, they have to have proof that you have the virus before they send anybody home.
That's ridiculous. Well, ultimately, you take care of yourself and you take care of your family. I mean, there's nobody that's going to be lying on, like being sick and wishing that they're working extra Sundays. It's what matters is ultimately your health. Because if you're good, then you can be there for your family.
Yep.
If you're not good, there's no way you can be of help.
Yep.
So take care of yourselves, guys. I will catch up with you same time on Thursday. Look forward to it.
Yes, sir.
All
Thank
We're
you.
recording in the notes from today. Okay.
Thanks.
Later,
See you.
guys. See ya.